I wish I just filmed the conversation that I just had. I'm in Elk Point. There's one pub, and I called them and I said, "Hey, look, I've had a real rough week. I said I'm canoeing across Canada, and I'm looking for a hot meal and a cold drink. I said, is there a taxi service in town, or maybe you guys provide that and I can pay for it?" And he says, "I'm on my way." And I said, "No, give me 15 minutes and I'll move all my stuff up and get ready." And then he says, "No, I'm on my way. I'll give you a hand." It's like, Canadians, I tell you what, I freaking love you guys. You're not going to believe it. But the guy who came from the pub that I called, his name's Cody. And as soon as he came here, within 30 seconds, he offered me a warm house, a clean bed, and to dry my clothes. I am constantly just being blown away by Canadians. The nicest people ever.
One of my favorite things to talk about is the Canadian stereotype about how people in Canada are so incredibly kind and generous and apologetic, right? And I don't think people truly understand what that means in practice, so I wanted to talk about that. I moved to Canada almost 11 years ago from Germany. I'm originally from France, but I was living in Germany at the time. And something that I haven't really talked about on here is the fact that once upon a time, I actually made the decision to leave Canada. So I had lived in Canada for about 5 or 6 years, and I actually felt like I didn't really belong. I felt like this didn't feel like my permanent home, and so I made the decision to move back to Europe. And so I actually moved back to Germany for a couple years, and eventually actually moved back to Canada. And one of the things that has stood out the most in that experience of like choosing to leave and then choosing to come back is why I made that decision. Like, what drew me back to Canada? Why do I feel comfortable here? Why do I feel at home? And it sounds cheesy to say, but it's really about the people. And this is the main difference with countries that I've lived in Europe, specifically Germany and France. If I'm in a supermarket, a store, the street, the metro, whatever public place I might be in, my nervous system is always in overdrive. And what I mean by that is I will never feel 100% comfortable going up to somebody and asking a question, or like chit-chatting with the cashier, or just, I don't know, like bumping into somebody on the street and apologizing. Like, I will constantly be fearing that somebody overreacts, or somebody meets me with like a rude greeting or an unpleasant interaction. And by the way, that fear may not always be valid, right? Like, you may interact with somebody in Germany or France and like they're the kindest people ever, but that fear that you have is because you know that there's chances that you'll be met with perhaps not the most pleasant interaction, right? In Canada, what I realized is that fear doesn't exist. And that's not to say there aren't unkind people in this country, but that's to say that I don't have the fear to actually start an interaction or like greet somebody or ask a question, because I know that 99% of the time I'm going to be met with the most pleasant interaction ever, even with strangers, right? People I don't know. I think that's what makes Canada feel like home. I'm comfortable. My nervous system is calm. I'm not constantly fearing an unpleasant interaction. And that is specifically what people mean when they say that people are really kind and generous and pleasant.
Okay, we were wrong about Canadians. Canadians are normally known around the world as being like really polite and saying sorry for everything. But y'all are savages. I posted a video yesterday about a ridiculous question that a Canadian asked me, and I got so many comments like this. Just throwing Americans under the bus. Like, go check out the comment section. I'm not here to start a war.
I have traveled a lot, but Canada taught me this one thing. Kindness isn't loud. It's consistent. Doors held, calm voices, patience in lines, etc. Canada taught me that being kind, it's not the same as trying to seem kind. When you try to seem kind, you expect something in return, or some type of recognition or award for it. But when you are nice instead, you just do things from the kindness of your heart, without looking who it is for, why, when, how, or anything. You just do. And some of you in the comments even say things like, well, we're kind and nice until you give us a reason not to be kind and nice. which is funny to me because I understand those comments come from you not realizing how kind and nice you are. You still don't really understand the reason. Like, you guys don't really know that the reason why people from all over the world, from all over the globe, come here and don't want to live. That reason, it's because the rest of the world, it's just mean and harsh until you give them a reason, a very good reason to be nice and kind. So, again, guys, that's your default setting. That's your default setting, like. And Canada has been the only country where people don't stare at you for being different or for looking different, where they treat you just the same as a local. Because I believe that they assume that you're a local. You can see kindness just by looking at people, because you guys don't see black or white. The world insists in dividing people by skin color, race, and many other factors. And meanwhile, Canada is just Canada.
I'm one of those Canadians that's a little stressed. And of course, our sovereignty means everything to me. Right now, I think it's a great time to focus on why we're so special, why we're so unique, and why people slap Canadian flags on their suitcases when they travel. We're just so damn lovable. I think we're good people. I think we're strong. And the reason that I said yes so quickly is because, number one, I love my country so damn much. I wear the Canadian flag on my heart. I really do. I have everywhere I've gone my whole life. And when people ask me who I am and to explain it, the first thing I say is I'm Canadian.
Bro, Canada, you could lay down in the street, middle of the street, in a city, in a downtown, fall asleep, and when you woke up in the morning, someone would have put a blanket on you. And cars that were driving down the street would have probably shut their engines off when they got close to you, gotten out of the car, and pushed their car past you as to not wake you up. Like, that's the kind of, people are just way considerate of others. And it's not like they're trying to be, it's in their nature.
Oh, Canada, you have inundated me, overwhelmed me with messages and comments of love and kindness and politeness. Do you know how refreshing it is to read on social media comments that include the words thank you and please? Nothing attracts me more to a people than kindness. So I wanted to say thank you.
Of course, Canadians understand that their country is not a perfect place. Every country has its own challenges to address, and Canada is no exception. However, what stands out is that despite the many challenges that remain, the affection and respect people around the world have for Canada seem to be growing stronger. Time and again, I come across comments such as, "The kindest strangers I have ever met were Canadians," or, "From the moment I arrived in Canada, the people there made me feel welcome." As I read more and more comments like these, I began to realize that they were not simply the result of a smooth trip or a rare stroke of good luck. They appeared so often that they began to reveal a common pattern. And I believe this is something Canadians have every right to be proud of. Sometimes, the qualities that have become an ordinary part of everyday life are the very ones we are most likely to take for granted. A smile offered to a complete stranger, a sincere thank you, or taking a few minutes to help someone who is unsure of where to go or what to do. For many Canadians, these actions may simply feel like normal, everyday courtesy. They may not think they are doing anything particularly special. But for a visitor from a different culture, small moments like these can become memories that stay with them long after their trip has ended. Perhaps this is also one of the reasons so many people around the world gradually develop a special affection for Canada. It is not because Canada is constantly trying to promote itself as a wonderful country. Nor is it because Canadians are always trying to convince others that their country is more exceptional than every other nation. That reputation has been shaped by what people have personally witnessed and experienced. They come to Canada, meet local people, receive help, are treated with kindness, and feel respected. Then, they return home and share those stories with their families, friends, and communities. That is how a genuine reputation is built, not only through promotional campaigns or beautifully produced travel videos, but through real people, real encounters, and truly meaningful memories. So if you are Canadian and you are watching this video, I hope today's story helps you recognize that the small things you do each day may have a much greater impact than you realize. The kindness you show, the respect you give to others, and the way you treat people from different places all contribute to how Canada is seen by the rest of the world. You may simply give directions to a visitor, hold the door open for the person behind you, help someone carry their luggage, or take the time to explain something to a person who is confused. To you, it may be only a very small moment in your day, but to the person receiving that help, it may become a story they continue to tell for years. These seemingly ordinary acts have helped build a reputation that many people around the world genuinely admire and appreciate. And now I would really like to hear your stories. If you are Canadian, what do you think makes your country special? Is it the people, the culture, the natural beauty, the diversity, or something else? And if you have visited Canada, what was your experience like? Did you ever meet a Canadian who made your trip more memorable? Please share your stories and thoughts in the comments. I am genuinely looking forward to reading about your experiences. If you enjoyed this video, do not forget to like it, subscribe to the channel, and share it with others who also love Canada. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.